Airports are strange places. One moment, you're standing in a security line, and the next, you're watching someone do push-ups in the middle of the terminal or arguing with a flight attendant over a middle seat. But have you ever wondered why people act so differently at airports? Why do some become anxious and irritable, while others treat it like a party before they even board the plane? In this video, we'll explore the psychology behind airport behavior, why time feels weird, why personal boundaries disappear, and why even the calmest people can suddenly snap. Airports often bring out unusual, and sometimes even rude, behavior in people. You might see someone sleeping on the floor, doing yoga in public, or even getting into drunken fights early in the morning. In extreme cases, passengers have tried to open airplane doors during a flight. Over the years, these kinds of incidents have increased, leading to calls for stricter rules, like limiting alcohol sales at airports. But why do airports make people act so differently? For some, the excitement of a vacation starts as soon as they arrive at the airport. They're in a different mindset, ready to enjoy their time off. On the other hand, some people feel nervous about flying, which can make them act out of character or turn to alcohol to calm their nerves. Airports are also noisy and crowded, which can overwhelm people. Environmental psychology shows that humans are deeply affected by their surroundings, and too much noise or crowding can make people feel stressed and irritable. Stress and anxiety can make people more likely to get angry, even if they're usually calm. Temporary stress, like the kind you feel at an airport, can lead to sudden outbursts of frustration. Another way to look at airports is through the lens of emotional geography, which studies how places influence our emotions and behavior. In some cultures, there's a concept of thin places, sacred spots where the line between the physical and spiritual worlds feels very thin. Airports can be seen as modern thin places. They're in-between zones where boundaries blur. Once you go through security, you're in a kind of no man's land, not really in one country or another. This can make the idea of place feel unclear. Time also feels strange at airports. When you're about to board a plane, you're caught between time zones, about to jump forward or even backward in time. For example, some flights in the US land earlier than they took off because they cross time zones. Losing control over time can make people feel anxious. Airports are also places where the present moment doesn't seem to matter. Everyone is focused on the future, their flight, their destination, and the adventures ahead. This focus on what's next can lead to frustration, especially if flights are delayed. In airports, personal boundaries often disappear. People might act rudely, but they might also act unusually friendly, sharing personal stories with strangers. In this no man's land, normal social rules don't always apply, and alcohol can make people even more open or more out of control. The confusion of time and place at airports can leave people feeling disoriented. We usually define ourselves by our routines, our surroundings, and even our nationality. Without these markers, we can feel lost. This disorientation, whether caused by the environment or our own psychology, can have negative effects. The positive side, feeling free. On the other hand, this sense of being in between can also feel freeing. Stepping outside of time, even for a little while, can feel like a break from prison. The same goes for our sense of identity. While having a clear identity is important for our mental health, it can also feel limiting. Like actors stuck playing the same role, we might enjoy the security of our routines but also crave new challenges. Stepping out of our normal lives at the airport can feel refreshing. Ideally, this sense of freedom continues throughout our travels. Whether we feel anxious or liberated, airports can make us act in ways we normally wouldn't. According to Sigmund Freud, this might be because our ID, the part of our mind that's driven by desires and emotions, takes over. Normally, our ego keeps the ID in check, but in places like airports, where normal rules don't apply, the ID can break through, especially if alcohol is involved. Banning alcohol at airports might seem extreme, but with so many factors encouraging bad behavior, it's hard to think of another solution. When boundaries break down, sometimes the only way to prevent chaos is to set clear rules. So, next time you're at the airport, pay attention. Are you acting like your usual self, or has the airport effect taken hold? If you found this video interesting, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own airport stories in the comments below. See you in the next one.